The story of Svein and Elise Tverberg begins with a marriage proposal in 1912. The proposal came by letter because Svein was in St. Paul, Minnesota, studying at the seminary, and Elise was in Madison, Minnesota, preparing to be a teacher. Imagine how their words may have sounded more than 100 years ago.
St. Anthony Park, St. Paul, Minnesota. 12. februar 1912. Received your letter. It was long and interesting and very welcome. Accept my hearty thanks. Now I am going to stop writing friendship letters to you. I have to open my heart and give you some questions. Are you free? And can you become more to me than a friend? Will you consider to join your future with mine? Are you willing to share sorrows and joy with me as long as God by His grace shall let us live together? Do you feel a desire and have courage to go into the work I will be called to do? It is a call with great responsibilities, but at the same time a wonderful work. It may bring difficulties and anxiety, as I am willing to take any work the United Church will call me to do, either here, at home, or in the mission field. It will also bring joy and satisfaction. My dear, consider with God and your feeling about this, and give me a clear answer from your heart. Will you be mine? In hope for a good answer, your Svein Tverberg.
Madison, Minnesota, 17. februar 1912. Dear Tverberg, your letter came in due time, and concerning your question, asking me to become your helpmate, I can give you a hearty yes. I cannot explain this, but I feel it all comes from God. He has led us together. The more I think about this, the more it has become clear to me that we two belong together, and it is my prayer to God that I may become a true helpmate to you in your call. As you write, we may meet both dark and light days, but I do not fear from trouble and difficulties if we can work together and have God to lead us. In this important decision, I cannot help wishing I could have consulted my mother, but as this is impossible, I have to leave it in a higher hand. Wishing we could meet and talk things over, we will have to wait for a chance later. There is so much that cannot be done by the pen. This is the first chapter on our way. Only a short wait for our life together. From your Elise.
Juni månad 1914 can be called the greatest month of my life. Den 2. juni, I graduated from the seminary with the degree CT, Certificate in Theology. Den 12. juni, the knot was tied, and we started our married life after having been engaged for 2.5 years. Den 14. juni, I preached a farewell sermon in my home congregation in Iowa. På den 21. juni, I was ordained, and den 27. juni, we boarded the train in St. Paul and were on our way to Madagascar.
And soon after the wedding, Svein and Elise became pregnant. He was 37 years old. She was 29. And Grandma made all your clothes, didn't she?
She made all our clothes, and she actually was a pretty good at picking out clothes that were pretty. I remember she went shopping one day and got to this store and found this a piece of a red, I don't know if it's silk, and it was just a big square piece. And she brought it home and she said she was going to make me a dress, and I thought, oh, you can't do that with that piece. But she whipped it together. She had just a short dress underneath, and then she had this big square collar on it. And I thought it was the neatest dress. And but she just made it, and I remember that she got it ready for Christmas, and I had this bright red silk dress for Christmas. Thinking back, I can always remember doing things with Dad. And he used to, when we go swimming, he'd go swimming with us, which, you know, a lot of the missionary men didn't think of going swimming with their kids. And he would go down and go swimming with us and give us rides on his back. He'd swim on out, and we could hold on to his shoulders, and he'd swim on out into the waterways where it was deeper. And we just got to hold on and go out there. And I remembered, you know, for him to do something that playful, to go swimming, but he knew that we all enjoyed the trip out as far as he could go. She was very good cooking. She taught the cooks how to do all of these things. And when we left and came back here, everybody wanted the cooks that she'd had because they were so good. They had been taught by her, and they liked the other missionaries there knew that she had trained those cooks to be excellent cooks. So they'd pick them up as fast as they could.
And did Grandpa ever do any cooking?
Grandpa hated cooking. We got to see so much that other kids didn't. When we were in France, my dad would make sure that we went around and saw the different things in France. Mom wouldn't always go along, but Dad would get up and take us around to see the different things that he felt like we should see. I remember when we were in New York, he got us up early one morning and took us down to where the newspapers were coming out. And he says, you should remember this. He says, that's the way the newspapers are set up. At early in the morning they come down, and the newsboys come down and pick them up. And he got us up out of bed and took us down to see what the newspapers coming out from the big buildings there.